Continuing on with some calculator practice, this problem says graph y equals 2x squared minus 6 using the standard window. So I'll go into my y equals, I'll clear out what I have in there, and I'll put in 2x squared. Now for squared you can use the little caret button, or you can just type the x squared button. That'll give you the x squared minus 6. Now I just thought of something. Just make sure that if this is not working for you, that your plot 1, your plot 2, and your plot 3 should not be darkened. So if you see them darkened in, that's probably why your graphing is not working for you. If the plot 1 is darkened in, all you have to do is use your right arrow to highlight it and then press enter, and that will make it light. Okay, so I have y equals 2x squared minus 6. I'm using the standard window. Remember, that is zoom 6. And you'll notice that this is a curve that opens up. Many of you know that this is a quadratic function, and some of you know that this is a parabola. But what the question is what is the turning point? So the turning point would be the point where it goes from going down or decreasing to where it's increasing. This point right here. Now what does it appear to be on your calculator? 0, -6. Okay, so it appears that the turning point is 0, -6. Let's suppose it wasn't so easy to see on your calculator. You have a way to determining what that is. And what you do is you press second, and we're going to calculate, which is the trace button. So second, trace. And you'll remember that our graph went like this. So we had a minimum value. So I'll go to minimum, which is number 3. Now, your calculator tells you to find the left bound. So you will use your left arrow so that you highlight an area that is to the left of that minimum. And when you get to the left of it, it doesn't matter how far you go, you press enter. Now your calculator says right bound. So use your calculator, your right arrow button, and make sure you are somewhere to the right of that minimum point and press enter. And then for guess, once you've marked your left and your right, for guess you can just press enter. And we see that y equals -6. So I wanted to point out what you see for your x. Sometimes 0 will not show up, but because of the nature of the calculator, it is essentially 0. So this for my x, and your x may say something different but very similar. What that means is -1.279 times e times 10 to the -6th power, which means you would move the decimal to the left 6 places, giving us 5 zeros in front of that number. So that is essentially 0. Okay, so what did I do? I did second, trace, and then I did 3 for minimum. If it were a maximum, you'd do 4. So 3 or 4. And then you need to mark the left bound and the right bound, and then enter. And you will have your minimum on this particular graph. So make sure you can do that before we continue on.